Hi everybody, it's David Ireland with Magnetic Magazine down here in Magnetic Studios. Locked up in quarantine, so we're getting a lot of gear reviews done, and luckily we're able to receive the Denon DJ Prime Go before everything got crazy. So wanted to kind of give you a quick overview of this. First of the things you're going to notice about it, the first few things, is that it's small. And that, for a lot of guys, immediately makes them think that it's not a pro rig, which is not the case at all. This thing packs a lot of punch. And if it can be used in a pinch, you could actually plug this into a club system and rock a DJ set just fine, or even a festival system. So the big question is where does this unit fit in the ecosystem of DJ all-in-one units? Because it's good for a prosumer, it's good for a hobbyist, it's good for a pro, it's good for really everybody. So it really comes down to, do you need this unit in your kit for some reason? And so I'll go over some of those kind of, some of those lanes I think that it would be good for. But let's start off with the basics. 2 channels, 2 little touch sensitive jog wheels, all the kind of stuff you're used to seeing on a controller. Crossfader's nice, has a good feel to it. The main master button helps you navigate through. Also has these tactile buttons here, and this is also a true touch screen. So you can go to the library, touch it, maneuver through all of your tracks, load them either that way or load them physically on the buttons. And it has a nice sweep, kind of a helix effect, and also a filter, high-low pass filter. So that's kind of a nice effect. You can switch it between 1 and 2 and use that. And then there's of course the main effects here on the unit. They actually can cycle through channel 1 and channel 2. You can have it hot on both or hot just on one, and it can cycle through 13 different effects. So that has a lot of power in and of itself, just the effects that are on board this thing. Not to mention that you get the hot cue, loop, and roll functionality and a bank button that gives you a total of 8 buttons. So you just hit bank and then it basically opens up the other 4. So you can kind of rotate between the 4 pads, which is super cool. So a lot of stuff jammed into a little box, and this is about 8 pounds. As you can see, there is no power, and it's powered up. So another cool thing is it's got a mobile battery, and it will last for about 4 hours. It's an online lithium-ion battery. So you can take this thing wherever you want to and play a 4-hour set, and it does last for about 4 hours, which is really cool. So if you want to take it to the woods, or you're just doing a short little gig at somebody's house, and you don't want to bother with bringing your plug along or can't find an outlet, you do have that capability, which is super unique to the market. The jog wheels are tiny. It took me a little bit of time to get used to them. As you can see, it's like the palm of my hand. They do have a vinyl mode and they do have a nudge mode. So I found myself kind of toggling between them. It took a little while to get used to the size of it. As you can see, you get a good control. It's got good tactile control. So, it feels a lot like a pro deck would. But I wouldn't use it to scratch or anything like that. It's just when you look kind of goofy doing it, but you can. So it's got that functionality. So that's kind of the overview of the unit. As you can see, the trim and the EQs are in the horizontal pattern, not vertical, which is fine. You get used to that pretty quickly as well. And then you have all the functionality that I just talked about. So that's kind of the essentials, and the engine iOS is super intuitive. It took me about, I don't know, an afternoon to learn how to use it. It's a little different. I think it performs a little better than the Rekordbox software on some level. The searchability and just the way they thought it through is really great. You can actually load an SD card on the front, so it takes 2 different types of media along with a hard drive. It also has a USB input on the back. I've never used an SD card to put my songs on. I'm not sure if that seems to be kind of more a mobile thing, or just, I don't see any guys using that. But if they have the capabilities there, so you have your basic headphone inputs and your cue mix levels, and then there's also an auxiliary port. So if you were a mobile DJ and you were wanted to put an iPod in here, you can control the volume there. So let's kind of get into who this would be good for. If you're a professional DJ and you're traveling a lot, you can actually, and you're using the Prime ecosystem, that's great. And even if you're not using the Prime ecosystem, you can actually just take it with you on the plane, set it up, do a DJ mix in your headphones, get your tracks ready, kind of just start to figure out what you're going to play, and then you can easily transfer that over to Rekordbox into a Pioneer setup. And also having this as a backup, which is great, because if something went wrong with a gig and one of the CDJs went out, you could actually just have this in your backpack, sling it in, connect it to the main house mixer, and off you go, and you can do a full pro rocking set on it, which is nice to have. I'm always being big on believing in being prepared no matter what. When I was doing vinyl DJ sets and everything, I always had all the extra cables, all the extra needles, always be prepared when you're DJing, especially if you're a mobile DJ, because there is usually no tech to help you out. So that brings me to the next person this is good for, mobile DJs. I think this is a part of a kit. I wouldn't want it as my main unit because of the size, but it's good to have in the kit like a backup camera. Or if you're going to do a smaller gig and it's something it's easy, like a corporate event, you don't really need to be, bring in all the gear. This would work perfectly for it. It's light and it moves really easily. You can just, pop up and pop out pretty simply. And then the other thing is the prosumer, the person that's getting into DJing. They want to learn, some of the basics. They want to get into it, but they don't want to drop a ton of cash. This gives you all the pro functionality. You can play out with it, and it's only about $1,000 retail. So that's a lot of power in a little small box for $1,000, and that's pretty hard to beat. So I'm excited to see how this little player kind of starts to do out in the wild and how people, gravitate towards it. I think it's going to do really well. There's a lot of buzz on it. And then last but not least, the backs. You've got the booth outs, which are, you're basically 1/4 inch. The master is an RCA, and you also have XLRs. So you've got a lot of different output options. 2 mic inputs, which is fantastic, especially if you're a mobile DJ. USB input for your computer, USB stick input, and a link input. So you could put other players with it as well from the Pioneer ecosystem. So all in all, pretty fantastic little box. I'm super impressed. I love it. I'm going to be doing some live sets. I also did a mix on it that I'll be putting in the post. And I'm hoping to spend kind of more time with it out in the wild and kind of do a live set from the middle of nowhere, wherever I can use it with the battery, because I think that functionality is super cool. So that is the Prime Go from Denon DJ. There's more in the review, but highly recommend this unit if you're looking for something that in those 3 lanes, and you'll enjoy it. It's really cool. Thanks for watching.
You're in the mix. You're in the mix with magneticmag.com. magneticmag.com.